Hi there, I'm Jamie.
I'm Caitlin.
We work for Hamilton County Soil and Water Conservation District. Today we're out on beautiful Lake Algonquin. It's raining a little bit, but that's okay. And we are here to do some lake water testing. So oftentimes our most favorite places in the Adirondacks are these beautiful lakes that we have. We build our communities around them. We spend so much time out here on the water. And sometimes when a lake becomes polluted, you don't realize that until it's too late. So that could mean showing up one day and having a huge algal bloom or noticing all of the fish dying and things like that. So what we do is we keep tabs of the water quality by collecting water samples and doing a bunch of other cool things. So we're going to show you some of that today, and we'll talk about how we do that and why it's important. So the first thing that we're going to do today is we're going to measure water transparency. That means that we're going to see how far down the sun can go into the lake, and that can dictate how warm the lake gets, how deep plants can grow in the lake, all sorts of really cool stuff. So we use this tool right here. It's called a Secchi disc, and it's super simple. Just black and white disc we lower into the water. When it disappears, we take a measurement, and that is the transparency. And lower it in. All right, I think it's disappeared. So I'm going to take one measurement from the water surface. It looks like we're at about 2.5 meters. I'm going to lower it a little bit more and then bring it back up again to where I can see it, which is about right there. And we're at about 1.95 meters. So we're going to average that out and say that the transparency of the lake today is 2 meters. What we're going to do next is we're going to fill up this water bottle with water and send it back to the lab where it gets analyzed for a whole bunch of really neat stuff. So the water that we want to collect has to come from about 1.5 meters down in the lake. And so we use this device right here. It's called a Chemerer sampler. And what it does is it allows us to collect a discrete sample, so none of the water is getting contaminated. So we just lower it into the lake until we're at the mark that we need to be. Right, there we go. And then we send down this thing right here. It's called a messenger, and it clicks it closed, so then we'll be able to bring up the perfect water sample. There we go. So then we just take our bottle and we fill it.
One substance that lake water is checked for in the lab is phosphorus. In high amounts, phosphorus causes increased growth of aquatic plants and algae. When plants and algae die, their decomposition uses up oxygen that fish and other critters that live in the lake need to breathe. Low amounts of oxygen can cause fish kills.
So now we're going to get ready to take another water sample, and this time we're going to filter that water through this apparatus to see how much chlorophyll A is in the lake. So chlorophyll A is that little green thing inside of a piece of algae or a plant that photosynthesizes. We can collect that, send it to the lab, and they could give us a really good estimate on how much algae is in the lake. We take a sample using this tube. It's called a 2-meter integrated tube sampler. It's very clunky. And we lower it down until it's 2 meters in, and then we just pull up the one side, and this gives us a column of water inside the tube. Now we have this nice water sample, the whole column 2 meters down, and we're going to put it in another bottle, just like so. And so then we take our filtering apparatus, we take it apart. We have these filters in tin foil in this little baggie here. Grab that, like so, and place it on here. So now we have filter paper. Cover it up and pour in some of our water. Then you just filter it like so, all the water goes through, and then the chlorophyll is left on the paper. You could come and have a look and see how much algae is on the filter paper. It's pretty crazy. So all that white is where it wasn't filtered through, and then you could really see the green from the chlorophyll that got stuck there. So now we just take this off with a pair of tweezers. We wrap it in tin foil and send it to the lab.
Staff of the district also monitor for invasive species. Invasive species come from other areas or countries, land here in Hamilton County, and without the natural checks and balances found on their home turf, things like disease, herbivores, to eat them, they reproduce very quickly. And I'm going to show you how we do a simple rake toss method to check for invasive species. This is a rake and it's attached to a length of rope, and all we do is toss this off the boat and we reel it up, and let's see what we find. And so here we've caught Eurasian water milfoil. This is an aquatic invasive plant that comes from Europe and Asia, so it's native to Europe and Asia. It has large spacing in between each leaf, and the leaves are whorled around the stem. It's as if someone took a pair of scissors and snipped off the ends, so they have what's called blunt ends on each leaf. Eurasian water milfoil is a pretty bad plant. It tangles on boat motors. It makes swimming unenjoyable because people cannot swim through the large, dense beds. It's degrading our fish habitat, where they spawn, where they get their food. When it decomposes, it uses up oxygen that our native fish need to breathe. So this is certainly a bad plant, and we're on the lookout for it here, and so we'll do these rake toss surveys to see where it is.
The last thing that you do before leaving the lake is make sure you're inspecting your boat. So obviously our boat right here, it has milfoil all over it because we were looking for it to show you guys. So you just take it off, make sure everything is good, and then you really want to make sure you drain the engine, which is very, very important. And we're going to stop at a Decon on our way home to make sure we're not going to bring this milfoil into other lakes.
Hi, I'm David Nilsson. I work for AWI, and I run a Decon station here in Speculator, New York, to retard the spread of the invasive species from lake to lake.
Our lakes are important because clean water is necessary for all life on Earth. Certain species live in water, plant roots take up water, and humans drink water to survive. The Hamilton County Soil and Water Conservation District team collects lake water data to make sure that everything is as it should be. Aquatic invasive species like Eurasian water milfoil can cause harm to the ecosystem and our communities. Our invasive species program includes surveying and managing for invasive species, as well as deconning our gear to prevent their spread. Thank you for coming along to learn how to love your lake. See you soon.